remember sitting down with an executive at Lucasfilm, and I asked him I didn't know there was a cat in here. I did not know that. Just sitting there. Sorry.
Incoming transmission from an unknown source. It seems to be urgent. Patching them through. They're calling themselves the HoloNet Marauders.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. I'm AJ, joined here by my Bombad Jedi pals, Jamie and Matt. How is it going?
I'm good.
It's going
It was
great.
a very clean intro. Usually one of us laughs or something. It's usually Matt.
I tried really hard.
And I'm like, what is so funny every time? But
because it's the anticipation of the hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
It just gets me. I'm ready to go.
We've got a great episode today, as we've always got great episodes, but this one I'm very excited about. We're going to be creating a character, a signature of ours that we've done now at 2 conventions, live in front of people, and we're going to be doing one again soon. Very
Not
exciting.
today, but a future one.
Yeah, a future one. And I don't know what we're going to create then, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Or I should have
Today,
Let's focus on today.
we're going to be creating a crime lord. And this is going to be a great one because we have an actual Star Wars creator.
We have an actual crime lord.
Our good friend, Landry Q Walker. Welcome back. How's it going?
Hello.
Welcome back, Landry.
Our favorite reoccurring guest, I think.
That's
The lore master behind Sidon Athano. I don't even have to introduce you as that anymore because
Yeah, we'll do the little intro for people who might not know, who might not have listened to the show for that long. Landry created the backstory, kind of more so, but just more fleshed out story for Sidon Athano, who is like the main character that we always talk about in our show. But if you go back in our episodes, we have a full interview about that. But we're not talking about Sidon Athano today.
behind us,
Probably
though,
not.
behind Matt and I, we have the recent comic.
The comic.
The comic?
Yep.
One of our favorites. So
And then he's also
made me happy.
over AJ's shoulder, and he's also up
the
there.
helmet
He's
over
in this
there
book.
and over there.
He's over there.
He's everywhere.
He's all over
Funko
the place.
Pop there.
Look at this. He's right there. He's
Hot Toys,
unstoppable.
please make a Sidon Athano figure.
The
I'll buy it.
merch opportunities are wild. Let's go, guys.
But yeah, for a long time, we've had Landry on the show. Like this is like the 5th time now, I think, between the live streams and the podcast. So we're known for these creative characters, I guess. Not known, but we do them a lot.
We're
And
widely
we
known
wanted
for these, yeah.
we wanted to have like an actual author creator that's done Star Wars on. So we'll see how this goes. It should be a blast. Yeah. Crime Lord.
I feel like it goes without saying. None of this is like actual future content. We're just having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no.
of
So
course.
This
just
is part of our canon roster, like the HoloNet Marauders canon, but not.
Every time we make one of these, we always bring up like we have made all these characters in the past, but we need to get like an actual list of who we've made.
I think
made
at some point I'm going to go back and like look through all our videos and create like a compendium of like
I'm gonna do
all
that
the
tonight.
characters that we've made, all the pod
We need
racers.
illustrations of who's who.
Yes,
I know,
we do.
we
Commission
need-
some art, get some
Yeah.
art going. Come on,
We should.
Yeah.
We have a Gungan Jedi
Gungan Jedi,
named Trudawasa.
Trudawasa, the first in the classic. We have a bounty hunter named Black Melurun,
Yep.
a classic.
Can't remember what else.
We have
But
the
we'll see.
custodian, build a janitor episode.
Right. We did build a janitor, Landry. I don't know why we did that, but that was fun.
I mean, there's a lot of
And they-
janitorial jobs in Star Wars, I would think.
I mean, look at all
It
the
turned
places
out they
guys
were the
cleaned.
janitor for Dex's Diner, I think. So
Yeah.
that's how that worked.
I think so. Or the whole, it was the whole Cocoa Town.
Yeah,
all of
they were
Cocoa
the
Town on
handyman for
Coruscant.
Cocoa Town.
And then, of course, this recent celebration, we came home with our High Republic Starlight Beacon janitorial staff shirts.
Oh, that's right. T-shirts.
So-
yeah.
Cleanup
So,
crew.
full
Janitor's a
circle.
cannon.
Of course. Someone's got to clean up all the messes.
That's exactly.
But Crime Lord's going to be fun. Jamie, first we can go to the Guardian of the Wheels
Okay.
here, which is
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah.
And we'll see our question of the week, which we haven't done in like 3 months.
I know,
4 months,
honestly.
No,
so.
yeah, we have not. Let me pop that in. Hang on. I scrolled down. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. That was. All right. Let's see what happens.
Whoa, look at that.
Look at that. Don't look
Look
at everything
all
on the right.
question marks.
Don't look at everything on the right.
What a
It doesn't
mystery.
exist.
What's it gonna land on?
It's like the Riddler here. What did we get? Favorite Sith
Ooh,
Lord?
favorite Sith Lord.
Wow.
All right.
I mean,
There's only like a couple in canon, but
yeah, that's not many.
It could be anything, okay? It doesn't have to.
It can be anything.
it can be anything. All right.
It can be anything. Your favorite
Yeah.
Sith Lord.
Wants to
I don't
go
know.
first.
Landry, who's your
looks like
favorite
he's
Sith
ready.
Lord?
I mean, I have two answers to that because my first answer, I don't know if I don't think it would qualify as a Sith Lord, although Asajj Ventress, she was Sith apprentice basically.
Yeah, Sith assassin. She's a
We'll
Sith.
Maybe not Lord.
We'll count any Sith here.
Sith. I mean, after that, I would have gone with Dooku because I actually like the moral complexity of the character who,
Yeah.
you know, even though he's become corrupted, you get the impression that he absolutely does believe in his cause. And when he's ordered to kill Asajj, the genuine regret in him over that, he does not. I enjoyed that. But Asajj, I love Asajj Ventress.
Nice. I love it.
You beat me to it. I was probably gonna pick that. But
We can both pick that.
Ventress, but no, I honestly I'd have to say Darth Maul. Because like looking back on it, like before I was like really, really into like all of Star Wars for some reason. I like really like Darth Maul. There's like old like photos at like Star Wars weekends of me like freaking out about Darth Maul in like 2015, which is before the sequel trilogy came out, obviously. So I don't know, that was a big deal for me, and now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I like him, but that's yep.
Now he's a crime lord. So.
Now he's a
Now he's a
crime
crime
lord.
lord, guys. Wow.
It all comes back together.
Full circle.
Matt, do you want to go?
All right. I'm going to say Jar Jar Binks. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My favorite Sith Lord, like seriously, is probably Darth Momin from the Darth Vader Charles Soule run.
Oh yeah.
He's an ancient Sith Lord, got stuck in a mask. First time we'd ever seen like mask possession before in canon. Got stuck in a mask. Darth Vader finds him and puts him on like a random Mustafarian, and he's like, all right, let me help you build your castle. And he's basically the architect of Darth Vader's big old scary castle. And then he tries to betray him and pulls his body through time and gets squashed and killed. But before that, very cool Sith Lord. Looks like a little elf guy, and he makes meat art.
It's a very, very Matt choice here.
Going on?
And it's legitimate. Like, it's not like he's my favorite. And he looks cool, too. I love his mask.
I hate to do duplicates, but I'm going to go with Dooku as well.
A Duke.
I love Dooku from just his characteristic, his, you know, everything about him, his personality to just the way he looks. His style is so nice. I mean, being a count, he's got to look very fashionable.
He's got like a fencing lightsaber.
I have that like
how cool is that? That's
when I become
style.
old and gray, that I'm gonna cosplay that. I don't want to do like whole like gray haired old Dooku now, but when I become old and gray, I've got that costume ready to go, I guess.
Good. It's good you have plans for
And
the
I remember being young and like the Legos came out for Attack of the Clones and just seeing like a curved lightsaber hilt. I was like, who is this guy? But,
yeah.
Yeah, Dooku. Love Dooku. And Dooku Jedi Lost is a great book as well. But I think it was Kevin Scott, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good book. And there we have our Sith
Those are our favorite
Lords
Sith Lords.
and Sith
Favorite
people.
Sith Lords.
Cool. I guess on to, unless anyone has any more Sith thoughts, on to our Crime Lord thoughts.
No thoughts.
No thoughts.
No thoughts.
So-
Crime Lord thoughts though, yeah.
Crime Lords.
I
Let's
guess
get
we'll
to
run
it.
through our categories for this. We usually only have like 4. So this one's very deep. We have 8. And then we each give a random fact. So we'll each be able to give our fact, which will make it even funnier because we probably each have 4 wildly different things that we can add to this. But we have the species, weapon of choice, location of the syndicate, name of the syndicate, one creature, pet, or droid, their major domo, which we learned that word in Book of Boba Fett. At least I did. So their assistant.
I feel like most people did.
I
Yeah.
learned that from The Sims. Sorry.
There you
anyway,
go.
keep going.
Transportation, mode of transportation or vehicle or whatever. And then their like D&D alignment meter. You know, I guess that's how I'll explain that. But
Good.
yeah,
No,
it's a big one. We're chock full of details on this guy.
Me
Or
and
just-
AJ were totally
this man
not
alone.
rallying him off last night off the top of our head.
Matt, what should we do here? I need another one. I need 8.
What do we do?
Coming
What
up
do we
with
do?
8 was
I
tough.
don't know. Edible.
Pet.
We get a pet.
All right. So the way that this works is one person gets randomly selected to their pick gets selected, right? Or we vote. Which one was it?
No, it's so we select. So whoever this lands on, I guess we'll go the way I just listed them. So we'll start with species and work our way down to alignment. So this is for species. Matt
All
off the bat.
right. Here we go. So my species for my guy is a Galusian.
Oh God.
A Galusian. We
Is that the
saw
balloon guy? No.
close. It's the guy in Solo who's singing at Dryden Voss's club. He's a little
guy in the
jar?
jar?
A little jar guy.
Jar guy. Okay.
So
The guy
our-
in the jar.
Our crime lord is going to be a little guy floating around in a big old jar.
All right.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
I wonder how weapon of choice is gonna work, but
I
I
had
mean,
a good
most
weapon
of the
choice.
things are not going to work on mine.
I've ruined.
That's fine.
I've already ruined the crime lord. I'm
could the
sorry.
Galusian could he be a head in a jar that like attaches to like a mech suit or something?
I mean, I
or-
guess I didn't want to
we-
go with mech suit because I always go with mech suit. But if you want to do mech suit so we can like
No,
do
I-
the
I
weapons,
I think go with your plan. He's a
Okay.
guy in a jar. The
Guy in
jar's
a
on
jar.
a shelf, maybe. It's good. It's a fancy shelf. Go
Yeah.
with it.
I like
Jabba
it.
Jabba
Okay.
ruled an entire crime empire sitting on his ass doing nothing. This guy can be in a jar doing absolutely nothing on the shelf.
That's
right.
perfect.
Guy in a jar. Galusian.
Galusian.
Guy in a jar, Galusian.
Okay. All right.
Weapon of choice is next.
All right.
Matt's up again. All right,
You know
get
what?
to-
This actually works because I
This
came
might
up
work.
specifically with a weapon for a guy in a jar. Because my thought process was this guy is kind of a jerk, really, but we'll decide that later. But his weapon of choice, he shoots little darts of poison gas out of like a little compartment right on the front of his jar, and they're poison gas, and they're called fart darts.
So are they like? Does he have like blow darts that he just shoots out of the jar?
Yeah,
Wait.
like a little blow dart, and he's like, poof. Like, and if he hates you, he just shoots a little dart at you, and he kills you.
Okay.
I forgot to mention, we didn't come up with names, right? So my name, I came up with him is Glort the Gaseous.
Okay, that's pretty
he's-
good.
So he's Glort the Gaseous, and he
Does-
shoots fart darts out of his
I have
jar.
a very important question. Do the fart darts are the poison? Is it like from him, like
I don't know if
That's not
Galusians-
like
possible.
Spider-Man style kind of thing?
I don't know if
or...
Galusians shoot poisonous darts or not. I was just gonna say they're
Okay.
manufactured.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you're getting into a territory there that is unexplored. So you could, if I were in that position, when I have been in that position, the way it works is if it hasn't been covered that they don't, you could probably establish that they do.
All right,
There we go.
then it's canon.
I feel like
Galusians
that's
shoot
one
poisonous darts.
that editorial you'd be able to slip by the way, these shoot poison darts, and people would say, yeah, we don't have any lore for them, so you just came up with it. That's how
There we
you
go.
that's
Alright.
the science behind it.
I feel
Nice-
like, because
nicely
they're,
done,
they're a
Matt.
pretty defenseless species. They're probably going to have some kind of like big defense mechanism to protect themselves because they're tiny little guys. So
Perfect. Well, I'm
Well,
glad you got weapon
okay.
of choice because that made that.
yeah,
That made
because
that
now
work.
now our guy's not just sitting in a jar doing nothing. He's shooting you with fart darts.
Perfect. All right, cool.
Wow. Okay. What's the next category?
The location of the syndicate or gang or whatever.
Help. Okay.
Well, it can't be Matt.
Landry.
Landry.
All right.
The location is the Barren Rim, and I didn't pick that one at all because I'm biased, and I like the whole idea of a bunch of crime lords fighting over this, almost desolate territory filled with like derelict spaceships.
All right.
And
Okay.
that's
I
what the
like
Barren Rim is. There's not a lot of stars. It's getting into an expanse where but there's tons of debris. Just a cacophony of ruined spaceships floating around from all the wars.
I like it. Wow.
He's trying to rule over this piece of space.
And he was just floating in a jar through this space, and he found his way into whoever he's working with.
That's right. There you go.
Oh man, I like that. Okay.
It's like an AP5 just like floating through the stars, and he's like, I feel so at peace.
I'm free.
He wishes.
All right, cool. We're getting somewhere with this.
What's the next one, AJ?
The name of the syndicate.
Don't land on me because I missed that question when I was writing mine. Good.
All right.
Okay,
Oh, it's me.
It's you.
it's you, AJ.
All
Name
right.
our syndicate.
The Porg Posse.
All right. The Porg Posse. I like it.
Oh
Oh
man.
my
Should it-
god.
I guess we have pet as a category, so we can't say that he has like a pet Porg.
Well, that might be.
Well,
Might be
depends
what
on
I
who we
have.
land on.
Yeah. There you go.
But I like it. I like
Okay.
the Porg Posse
That's
kind of rule over.
that's beautiful.
This
all
is
I
my
have to say
favorite
about
guy we've
that.
made so far.
Oh god. Okay. What's the next one?
The creature or pet. And it's me again. All right.
Guess what?
Guess what? The creature or / pet is a Porg.
All right.
Crazy.
That is,
What? That's
how does that
nuts.
work
And
out?
the Porg is also in a jar. I'm just kidding.
No, he should be. He should be in a jar.
Who wants to name the Porg? I feel like the pet should have a name, right?
All right.
No?
Our guy's name is
Yeah.
Glort.
So,
Maybe his name is Port.
Glort,
Name
Port.
things.
Port.
Steve.
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 The Borg.
I like
Steve
Steve
the
the Porg.
Porg. All right, Steve the Porg in a jar.
Oh
Steve
my
the Pirate.
God.
Steve the Porg.
Steve the Pirate. Who's that?
Never seen Dodgeball?
I
No,
was
that's the
making
joke.
The
Okay.
joke was that he didn't. Okay, whatever.
I'm so gullible on this stupid podcast. God.
Once we hit
I-
record, you just
I
believe
despise
everything.
it. Everything is just gone. All right. What's the next one?
Major Domo.
I like how you spin it and then ask.
I don't look. I just accept.
She
Okay,
just lets
so,
it rip.
So Major Domo.
Yep.
Well, so I picked Aura Singh.
Okay, so we have a
And-
time period for.
Well, hey, I don't know. Maybe she's
maybe the
also
fall
in a
didn't kill her.
jar. Maybe she's just a head in a jar. I don't know.
The Porg Posse is just a bunch of people in jars.
No,
I feel like they wouldn't
she's
accomplish
not.
much.
She's not. She's actually able to like enforce. I don't know. I was just like, really feeling that. So Aura Singh, Bounty Hunter. I feel like she'd be a wonderful Major Domo.
Do you think she
Obviously.
carries him
Her head
around?
in a jar. I mean, they need some muscle on there,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So
true,
That's
yeah.
good.
She's good muscle.
I don't think she would carry him around. Like unless like it was like absolutely necessary, because she's like, I'm not doing that. I don't think
Imagine,
she'd be
like-
the kind of person to like
imagine,
carry
like,
her
a
boss
wagon.
around.
Yeah, in a wagon.
Yeah.
Or like a backpack or something.
He's just floating in like, ooh, just like next to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, I hate this guy." And he's like, "Ugh."
At least I'm getting paid.
Uh,
That's what it would be.
you know
Yeah,
who my
no.
Major Domo almost was?
Who?
I had this whole thing planned, but it was going to be Max Rebo. It was going to be he finally had enough. He was almost blown up twice now. And he became this guy's Major Domo, and he was going to plan to overtake him.
Oh,
Which
that's-
the only thing to overtake this guy is just to shove him off the shelf.
Yeah.
But
No, because he
Mine
floats.
was just a Wookiee with alopecia. So.
Ooh, oh my god, that's terrifying.
That
What would that
is-
look like?
Well, have you ever seen a bear with no hair?
Yeah,
Probably getting into
Ooh.
that range.
ooh,
that's
Wow.
scary. I
That's
like
something.
it. Who did I have? I had
Uh,
you
an
probably-
Octoroid.
you created someone, right?
Yeah, I created
Yeah.
someone. He was an Octoroid, which is another alien from Solo. The guy sitting at the table with the big giant eye. He's like 10 feet tall.
The
Oh,
one that
yeah.
looks at Han's cards. Oh no,
No.
the tall guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the background. I named him Apes Yako. I don't know why.
It's a great name.
I thought he was.
That is
I
good.
thought he was a good.
That
Thought he'd
is.
be a good character. You carry him around.
All right. What's the next one?
Or he'd be like Krang, actually. Oh,
Oh, it sounds like Krang. The next one's transportation. So Jamie or Landry here? All right,
All right.
Jamie, what do you got?
what do we
The
got?
transportation. You're not gonna like this. It's a dewback.
This dude's on a jar on the dewback.
Oh
He's just-
my god.
He's just
in like in a cluster of ships in space.
Yeah, this is
So-
Space Dewback.
it's a
Does he have a
space.
bubble helmet?
It's
He
got a
puts a
bubble-
bubble
Yeah,
helmet
yeah.
on.
So like, it's
A
just
rocket
just-
harness.
He's
Dude,
just like
yes.
cruising along, and like it could be like an extra. I think like think like a Pope mobile, but on the back of a dewback. So like
Oh
he's
my
in like this
God.
like bubble
Through
like on
space.
his like back.
He's
just
already in a
through.
bubble. He's in 2 bubbles. He's
Bubble
double
in a bubble.
jarred.
And then a bubble for the dewback as well. But
He's
there they
super
go.
preserved.
But no, I was thinking more so like ground transportation would be like dewback. So when they're perusing
No, I
their
think it-
territory.
Yeah.
Stick with the space dewback.
I
Space
like
I
the
like-
dewback
space
is amazing.
dewback.
I like the space dewback.
Yeah,
I
he's
would
got
totally do something in a book with a space dewback. Like,
Oh my god.
rockets on the side. He's got a big helmet with tubes coming out of it.
yeah.
He's got this floating jerk in a jar on his back,
Spitting darts out. at
hitting
people
fart darts at
in
everyone.
space battles. we need someone to commission this art.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
this
Wait,
one
that's
needs to get.
certainly.
This is fantastic. All right.
Oh boy. I named the dewback Harland, by the way.
Harland and Steve
Harland.
the Porg is someone
Harland
too.
and Steve.
Harland and Steve, and Glord,
Harlan the space dewback.
and
Oh
Aura
my
Singh.
God. We love him. We love
Aura
Harland.
Singh.
And Aura
What-
Singh is also.
Does Aura
there.
Singh ride the dewback too?
No, she's on her own.
Okay.
Was she just floating behind them?
I feel like she
No.
wouldn't be a very good major domo at all.
I never said she would have been a good major domo. She's just there for the job. So
She's just the one he
You were
found.
specific. It's a money thing.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. She's in it for the money. He found her. Maybe he found her after Beckett pushed her off a cliff, and she owes him like a life debt.
And now she has a mech
Yeah.
suit.
And now she's in a mech suit. We're always back
We
to
got to
mech
include the
No.
mech suit.
no.
But I guess that leaves us with the alignment meter.
Alignment.
Landry, you
That's
get to choose
Landry.
that.
Mine was chaotic evil.
Yes, mine was too.
Mine was too.
Glord
Okay.
Cassius. He's
Easily.
a bad dude.
Had to go evil.
Just like loving the evilness.
I mean, how much more chaotic could you possibly be? Rocketing through space on the back of a dewback, shooting darts at everyone. You
Yeah.
can't, I mean, you can't get any more chaotic than that already.
Porg posse.
We still have factoids.
Yep. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we do.
Yep.
It's gonna get
let's-
spicy, but those.
Let's do our full recap of who this guy is, though.
Right.
So we have Glort the Gaseous.
Cassius.
He is a Galusian, so a guy in a jar.
Lord the Gaseous Delusion.
He runs the Porg Posse, which is out in the Barren Rim.
Mhm.
He has a pet Porg named Steve. He has a space dewback for transportation named Harland. Yep, he fires fart darts at you as his weapon of choice. His major demo is Aura Singh, who's only in it for the money, and this guy is pure chaotic evil.
Pure chaos. You don't want to
Perfect.
cross Glort the Gaseous.
No.
I'm telling you guys.
Oh my
Oh.
And I think
God.
Steve should be spelled like Steev, like Sheev.
I like
Steve.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, like that.
You
Yeah,
just Star Wars.
yeah, you got to Star Wars the name a little bit.
Great.
Steve the Porg.
Steve Harlan.
Steve Harland. So who wants to start? What order should we go for the facts here?
Matt, you go first since you had the first like couple of choices.
Okay, what did I write? He has a brother named Brandon.
Brandon, Harlan, and Steve. I like Landry's approval there. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Oh my god.
Um,
All right.
should I go next?
Go ahead.
Well, the species I was gonna choose was a Toydarian, so you know, like
Okay.
Watto. So
Yeah.
the fact I have is he's related by blood to Watto.
I mean, that could still be the case.
It could, yeah, it's in play.
Watto's aunt married a Galusian.
Okay. Are all Galusians in jars?
Actually, no. If he's related by blood, it has to be that Watto married a Galusian.
I crossed out Toydarian for my major domo. So we're
Ooh.
some lateral thinking.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
We don't see too many Toydarians anymore, and I want to see more. So
I agree. I don't think we've seen any for like a long time. I
Since
can't
the
think of the
prequels?
last time we
Since
saw
Clone
one.
Wars.
Since Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Related to Watto. Okay. Wow.
All right.
Is Brandon related to Watto?
Of
Yeah,
course.
dude.
If
He's
they're brothers.
He's
They'd have
Lord's
to
brother.
be.
Brothers. Okay.
Okay, my fun fact is whatever their equivalent of Sundays are, they make a brunch for the entire crew.
Aw,
That's gonna
that's
track
nice.
really, really bad with mine.
That's gonna track really bad with yours. Oh no!
Uh-oh.
What's yours?
Oh no.
Well, first, he wears a patchwork cape made from the skins of his enemies,
Okay,
Oh.
all
Ooh, okay.
and he eats his kills.
right. Ooh, all right.
Well, hey,
Brunch!
the brunch
The
might
brunch
just play
is-
into that.
And everybody is way too polite to tell them that all his kills taste like farts.
Oh.
He's
Oh my goodness.
What? Oh no! This
I don't know
is...
where a cape goes on a head in a jar is the thing, but it's trailing
no.
behind him on his space dewback, right?
Have you seen
It's kinda just-
Futurama? Al Gore wears a cape in one episode.
Oh, I have
He's
not
a head in
seen
a jar. Yeah,
It's
no,
like
that it
tied
works.
like behind it, and it's just like it's
Yeah.
kind of like a Doctor Strange's cape, just like floating behind him all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
like when
yeah.
it floats on its
Yeah,
own.
0G, and he's like, "Oh, I'll make you some roast stew for brunch."
I'm
And they're
picturing
like,
like the
"Thanks,
opposite
Lord."
of like Ichabod Crane, where like
Is
instead
it the
of
Headless Horseman?
yeah,
He's only
yeah,
a head. He's the head.
he's only the head with the cape.
He's the
Instead of
headed
being the
dewback
torso,
man.
and being on the horse, he's on the dewback instead.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, dude. This is absolute gold.
oh my god,
This will sell. I know editors. Let's make it happen.
let's,
Yeah,
let's
God.
get
Let's
this
make
out
it
there.
happen. Gort the Gaseous needs
They
to
won't
be.
not contact me after that ever again. I
No.
won't.
No
Why
way.
did it have to
It'll
be
go
this
well.
one?
That's the way it happened. That's how the chance cubes fell.
Because I'm here. That's what I do.
Oh my god.
I think Matt reached an all-time
Low.
grossness, weirdness with that one. But
This is
hey,
an all-time low.
Star
He
Wars is
did,
meant
and
to
then
be
it was
weird.
amplified here today because
Oh yeah.
it's a bit too much for me. I was just trying to make it light, like, oh yeah, they have a Sunday brunch. It's like Aura saying, no. Eat
I mean, it's
cannibals.
It would have been fun. I didn't know you were gonna go that route. Mine
We
see,
did.
mine was an Ewok. All right.
Right.
For the record, mine was an
Right.
Ewok gangster.
Who
But
made
I actually
skins?
right. It was originally the villain that the Crimson Corsair faced in the comic behind you, and that's why they said no, Ewoks wouldn't be in space like that. I'm like, yeah, they would. Look how quickly they got in ships, but it wasn't my call. So we switched it. I think it was Pablo Hidalgo recommended that we use a different race that we've seen on a planet on Endor's moon, which is I'm blanking on their name, but they're from the Ewok movie.
I know.
Oh.
The lizardy looking people that ride
Yeah.
horses. Yeah,
I'm
so
trying to think of their names.
we used them. In fact, the main villain is specifically Gruck, I think his name was, is specifically a the son of the main villain from the Ewok movie, as I recall. And originally, the art, it was changed at the last minute. He's wearing a hoodie of an Ewok that's been turned into a hoodie with the head, so. Because I still wanted that Ewok reference. And then they said, no, you probably shouldn't have the skin of an Ewok on your villain. I'm like, he's a bad guy.
They just wouldn't let
He's
you
a
do
bad guy, come
Ewok
on.
stuff.
That's
They-
crazy.
Wouldn't
Protecting
let
the
you do
Ewoks at all costs.
it. I don't
King
blame 'em.
Tarek was the guy in the Ewok movie. But what species was that?
I just went to Wikipedia and it says that he doesn't have a species.
And no one ever put a species in on the one that I
Oh.
created. I don't edit Wikipedia. So he
Interesting.
was specifically his. I think they put it Gruck's species or whatever it was, and no,
Yeah.
species is whatever the species was in the Ewok movie.
Uh-huh.
Like he
I
was
had-
designed to look like them by the
Right.
artist specifically was trying to draw them into the comic.
Interesting.
Even though we never named them, that's who they are.
I mean, I guess while we have you here, Landry, we can get your thoughts on stuff. I guess.
Sure.
Like,
I thought-
the Andor trailer just happened. That was really
watch it.
exciting. You
I
haven't
didn't
seen
watch
it yet?
it.
Watch it. Wow.
No, because I don't watch trailers on things I know I'm going to watch.
That's fair.
Like I didn't watch the Obi-Wan trailer, the Kenobi trailers, and so on, or Boba Fett, or any of those because I'm sold, and all I'm going to do is see scenes from a thing that I'm going to invest my time to watch. And what does happen all too often when I do watch a trailer, I sit there going, okay, so if this scene happened, I know the scene's in the trailer, and then I start doing the story math while I'm
Yeah.
watching it, I'm not immersed. And then I'm going, okay, then XYZ has to happen. And now I know the end of the movie or show. Like, well,
That's a good point. I find
That is a
myself
great
doing
point.
that when I don't spoil it all for myself.
Well, as we do the show, we're always with the TV shows, especially. A movie's one thing, but when you have the TV show, you're like, oh, we haven't seen this footage yet, and this happens probably next episode, and we're gonna see this. So it's like, so that makes a lot of sense, especially with the TV shows.
I do watch trailers after the fact because I think trailers are their own art form. I think that
Oh yeah,
when people put together a really good trailer, like the Force Awakens trailer was a really good trailer. I think a good trailer is its own special thing. Even when a movie is terrible, a trailer can be amazing. And it's an interesting bit of storytelling because I just wrote a comic where functionally we start the first 6 pages off. So they read like a trailer and you see all these flash forwards of these things that are going to happen because people don't interface with spoilers the way they used to. So like, forget it. Rather than keep every story element secret, let's just show you who the character is, what's going to happen to him, and leave you wondering the how and why the way a trailer does. And we'll see how that plays out. I don't personally like it as a reader or a viewer, but it is what the audience responds to now. So that's a tangent of trailers. But
that's interesting.
No, it's a great point. I remember leading up to Last Jedi, my best friend, he avoided every trailer for Last Jedi, and it was like amazing. He would walk out of the movie theater, he'd be seeing like Thor or some Marvel movie, and then the Last Jedi trailer would come on, and he'd like run out of the the theater to dodge it. Yeah. I mean, I guess he could have just closed his eyes and covered his ears, but
but what's the fun in that?
But Andor, I'm sure you heard it got pushed back to end of September almost, September 21st.
No, I didn't hear about that. But that makes sense. I wouldn't want to go up agast Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
that was the idea, maybe.
We just saved you a very confusing Wednesday morning.
You'd be
turning on Disney Plus and you'd be like, "What the hell? Where is it?"
But like, what are you looking forward to in Star Wars with any of these shows? Like, are you looking forward to Andor the most? I know Bad Batch season 2 is coming out.
Oh man, I'm
September
looking forward to Bad Batch. I mean, Andor. I'm very interested in Andor. It does the same thing. Interestingly, that Rogue One did, which I remember sitting down with an executive at Lucasfilm, and I asked him what I didn't know there was a cat in here. I did not know that. Just sitting there. Sorry. I sat down with somebody from Lucasfilm, and I said, well, what? Because I really enjoyed Rogue One. I said, what did you think about it? And he said, I really liked it. But we didn't, and he's just speaking as a viewer, not as somebody. It's like, but did we need it? Like, no, everything was told to us in the crawl, but it's still, I mean, it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And I feel like Andor has a potential to be that. I'm very interested in it. I think I'm probably going to really enjoy it. But it is one of those things, like, sometimes we run the risk of, more isn't always more. Sometimes more diminishes rather than it expands. And it's going to be the more you explore these characters, like the Rogue One characters, which we didn't need to know anything about to begin with, the more we demystify them and make them less interesting. So I'm really excited about it, but I wouldn't want to write it, I guess is what I'm saying. That is a tight wire act.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw you tweet that after Kenobi, more isn't always more or something. And people are like, oh, I want a season 2. And it's like, I mean, how much more, No, it's a good point.
And I'll watch all of it. I will. Yeah. And, but I think sometimes getting what we ask for can be the worst thing possible for us.
Oh yeah, it's not definitely. But you mentioned you're excited for Bad Batch. I know Jamie's like the Bad Batch mega fan. I don't know if you've on social media. It's always she's cosplaying Hunter or has a bunch of jackets and all the merch. So.
2 of the Bad Batch 6 scale on pre-order because that's all they put out for pre-order. I will get all of them. Yeah. They are amazing. I have a special place. You all know I have a special place in my heart for the clones.
Oh yeah.
And, an intruder there. Hello, cat. And watching, the first season. I my only complaint about the first season is I wish they had really delved into the chips over a longer period of time than they did. I would have that as the Bad Batch. Maybe slowly is influenced by chips in their head still. We get that, but I could have gone with 6 more episodes, slowly boiling that or until it reached like a frenzy. That is me asking for more after saying that more isn't always more, though, right?
But hey,
Being human.
Yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
how I feel about it too, as well. Though, like, I feel like they could have like essentially milked it a little bit longer with like how long the actual season progressed in the timeline, because it was a little unclear like how long they had been like away and like how long Crosshair's been with the Empire and whatnot. I'm just very excited for like the next season, because we are going to have like this like little bit of a time jump, which again, it's like, oh yeah, it's been a while, but it's like, okay, how long is a while? Like I need to like, I'm very excited.
There's
Right.
also a part for me with this material, though, that is always, there's an anxiety that, and as we know, this can happen because I believe, was it EK, what's her name, the author?
E.K. Johnston.
E.K. Johnston.
Was just talking about her Ahsoka book and how there are things that have phased, are being phased out of canon. I always am alert, like, are they going to undo my Kix story? You know,
Yeah.
it can happen. It's in the control of people that have more pull than I do. So because I've so personally attached to that story, and I so obviously want to tell a whole bunch more of it, there's always fear that I'm surprised it's managed to go this long without something decanonizing what I've written. So when we start getting into any of the stuff that deals still with the clones, and specifically any of the 501st, they could go, you know what, actually Kix does show up here, and that story, nah, forget it. Like, oh no.
I know. I'd be so upset.
I would too. That would really stink. But
It would, because there's no reason for them to like touch that. You know, bring Kix in, I guess, and that's when people find out about your Kix story. Like, no joke, they love it. I always
people freak out.
Even if they haven't read the story, they're like, "Oh, Crimson Corsair, isn't he the guy that finds like a clone, like Frozen?" Like, people know of the story even if they haven't read it, and it's people are
a
fascinated
lot of
by
people
it,
interface with the story in a lot of interesting ways. There's a lot of people who only know the story because of Wikipedia or from a YouTube video, and and the thing is, I think the book is free if you have Amazon Prime, so just download the book and give me the metric.
I know.
Yeah.
So we can get some more of these.
That's like all I want. I mean,
you know how people put Netflix shows on to get like, and just put it on the background so that like Netflix will be like, hey, everyone's watching that. Could you just download the book?
Do it.
And
everybody.
I'm gonna go download it tonight like 100 times to get the to boost it up. I don't know if that works.
Every device I get.
But yeah, there's definitely the crowd that a niche crowd, a big niche crowd, I would say, that love that story.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty big niche crowd, actually. That
big niche crowd.
Big niche crowd.
We saw
really
at least
is,
2
though.
Crimson Corsairs at Celebration, at least.
Yep.
Oh man, I wanted to go. And it was close too. Like, it was only a 6-hour drive, but it sprung for WonderCon already in Anaheim, and that was so expensive. I'm like, I can't do another trip right now.
Yeah. It's tough.
This is an aside. I was bored because work's been slow since the pandemic started. A lot of publishing is like in the mud. And so I just started writing a follow-up Corsair Kix story for fun, which is at 10,000 words now, I think. And it takes place concurrent to Rise of Skywalker.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, buddy. What are you doing?
We'll have to talk to you after the show, off the air.
Who do we know? Who do we know?
I should just start sharing chapters with y'all. And, you know,
one chapter accidentally
first
leaked.
draft form. That's probably the only form it will exist in.
Oh no!
Don't say that. There's hope. I have hope.
Me too.
But we'll see.
All right, so it's back to our normal tagline of Lucasfilm, if you're listening, and I know you are, please, like, add on to this story.
Come on,
like,
guys.
We talk about it all the time.
We're right here.
Landry, have you while we're talking about like Star Wars publishing and stuff, have you read any of the High Republic stuff at all? Or
No, I haven't. Basically because 2 reasons. One, because I've been working on other things that are other than when I dove into working on that for fun.
Right.
And I interface with Star Wars in kind of a strange way because I have worked on it. There can be, and it can be a little bit of like, how much do I want to dig into it at a time when I'm not working on it? and I'm feeling like I want to be working on it, it can be a little frustrating to be
I get
blunt.
that.
And
That's a balancing act for sure.
and it also, the closer you get to some of the stuff, the kind of the magic gets peeled away. Like you're talking about Charles Soule or Kevin Scott, and it's like, these are people I know, and I actually like reading their more independent creator-owned work more, because I want to support that, for one. It's interesting to see what they come up with on their left to their own devices.
Yeah.
But it also makes it really hard to be as immersed in the material when you like had, lunch or sat down next to a signing with the person and sat there going, I followed Charles Soule after he left Red Lanterns. I took over and finished the Red Lanterns run for him. So that was an interesting experience. And so again, the closer you are to this, it just kind of takes some of the fun out of it. So reading the stuff ends up on multiple levels feeling more like work.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, the shows and the movies, I don't get that. I'm a kid again with those, but reading it, I haven't really been following anything. I also don't want to cross pollute anything going on in my own head. So
That's fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes. I was just curious because I know that's been like the big publishing thing, and I didn't know if like that was something. If you have read the stuff there, if that's something you'd like be interested in tapping into one day when they expand more in the High Republic. I don't know, but
it would be, the thing is with any of that, there are things that one, I write anything that comes my way because it's always a challenge. It's always interesting. It doesn't always work out. Like I did some Fast and the Furious tie-in stuff. Tie into the animated Fast and Furious, which was the kids. Like it was an interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know there was an animated.
I remember hearing about
Fast and Furious
that.
thing.
I don't think it was very popular. But I also I have mortgage to pay, so
Yeah.
I take whatever work comes up. I would do it, of course, but I would have to. What would happen if somebody contacted me and said, "Hey, so there's some work if you're interested. It's High Republic era. What are your thoughts on that?" I would say, "Give me 2 days," and I would read everything. I'd just binge it. I'd do nothing but read all of it at that point, because then and then the whole time I'd be forming, where is my nook and cranny in this story? What do I want to pull out of this? Where can I put something in that isn't being explored? What can I do? See, it's going backwards, so I can't connect clones to it, which is
You
Unfortunately.
can't, but you
That's
would love
true.
the Nihil Pirates.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
cool. The Nihil.
Yeah.
I've seen some things with that. So
Yeah.
yeah. It looks like fun stuff, and I like all the people that I've met that are working on it. I will say that that's the other side of it. I say, like, you get too close to it and you get jaded. It's not the people. All the people, at least that I know personally, who are working on Star Wars material are some of the nicest people I've met in 30 years in this industry. And so, getting to be involved in that is always rewarding. When you're either close enough or have enough distance. But when you're in the middle ground, where you just sometimes come in and pick at the work, especially when you're sitting there going, I have all this stuff I want to tell, can we get it off the ground? It makes it a little emotionally burdensome.
Right.
No, yeah. I get that completely.
No, and some of our favorite people and some of our favorite Star Wars creators, are the authors or people like you. Like you guys are so down to earth compared to like obviously directors and actors and everything. And
They have to be so guarded, I would imagine. They're working on such a high level where anything they say blows up to 10,000, whatever, 100,000 tweets or retweets. And it's just like, I don't know how warm or approachable you can be when you're under that scrutiny, right? No one cares what I say. It makes it beautiful. I'm just
Yeah, like last episode we had Adam on. Adam Christopher, who just wrote Shadow of the Sith. So we actually somehow had back-to-back author episodes, which is really cool. I didn't mean to do that, but there we go. It worked out
How'd
like
that
that.
happen?
Did you guys have any more like Star Wars questions for Landry? Because I have one that's non-Star Wars that I've been meaning to ask him since like March. So
I got nothing.
This seems like a burning question, AJ. Ask it.
well, it's not a burning question, but it's well, I know you're a big Batman fan. We've talked about that off the air, I think, a lot, and you're a big fan of the Riddler.
Yes.
So, what did you think of the Batman?
My interface with that one. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, there's
Yeah,
Hey.
The curtains.
there it is.
I thought, okay, so I really enjoyed it on a level that it's kind of my same way I felt about the Dark Knight movie with Heath Ledger as the Joker. I liked it at the time of the Heath Ledger Joker as a 40-year-old. Now with this Riddler version of a film as a 50-year-old, should these movies really be for me? Like I don't like I got into Batman as a 4-year-old. There's a photo of me from the 1970s at a car show with Burt Ward. He's in his full Robin costume.
Wow.
And you know, it was an amazing piece of like I got into the comics and the 60s reruns of the 60s show. And I do believe that Batman is an all ages property at its core, that it should be accessible to children. And while I really enjoyed the movie, one, that wasn't the Riddler. They changed the character so fundamentally. They made a new character, a really compelling and interesting character.
Yeah.
But if you change him so much from his core, is he still the same character? He uses riddles, sure. But I did really enjoy it. But I don't, at the same time, I go into the Target. I go in Target, the toy section, and there's, you know, Gimp Suit Riddler in hit for, you know, ages 5 and up. And I'm just questioning who is their audience here?
Yeah.
Like the MCU seems to know who their audience. Disney has always been good at separating, like, our property is made for these people. Here's your boundaries. I think they can make amazing Batman movies outside of those boundaries. The question is, should they? Because you blur the how do I put it? You blur the property. There's a word I'm looking for that's eluding me, but yeah, I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
Like when I worked on Batman: Brave and the Bold. I worked on this book here. I wrote that at the same time I wrote a really gruesome Mad Hatter story where he's a very broken human being committing serial killings, and it's an interesting juxtaposition that we want to sell Batman to everyone, but we don't create a Batman that is accessible to everyone. We create compartmentalized Batmans, which adds to a lot of marketplace confusion. And working in retail, when I did work in retail, steering people away, that's not the Batman for you. You can read this Batman, but none of those Batmans. It's a strange balance. So that might be a more complicated answer than you were looking for. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
It makes sense, yeah.
I get what you're saying. And to bring this back to Star Wars, because I can't help myself. A lot of, there are so many people who are like, oh, I want a rated R Star Wars movie, or I want, a Star Wars movie where Darth Vader is just going around slaughtering Jedi and doing all these dark, gritty, awful things. And it's like, no, Star Wars should be accessible to all ages. So I know exactly what you're saying. I get it. Like
you could do a story. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, it's dark and gritty and like super ultra violent and scary. It's just not really my Star Wars. It's not the Star Wars I think of.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably tell a brilliant story about Mickey Mouse, like getting caught up in meth addiction. You probably could. Like a really compelling, emotionally charged story that changes the way people look at life. Is that the place to tell it? You can tell a story like you did the way the Batman was executed. And I will say, I thought Robert Pattinson, is that his last name?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really great Batman. I love the look. I love Catwoman, Penguin, everything. I really enjoyed the movie. I just question again, is that the best way to brand your property?
Yeah, I mean, you bring a good point. I like that this kind of became like the Batman podcast, but I've been dying to have like a podcast just to talk about this movie since March, and that was almost 6 months ago. So like,
oh my God, is it? Wow,
it's crazy,
I
right?
know.
Almost September. Oh, it's early August, but whatever. I don't know
We
what
don't
time
know
it is
what day it
anymore. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, was that the Riddler? Because they pretty much just made him a real life, mass murderer. They made him the Zodiac killer, pretty much,
Yeah.
right? So it's like
The Zodiac Killer on 4chan.
and then just put question marks all over him.
yeah.
So that's a good
Well,
point.
one, even just one, he just says
It
one.
was just one. Okay, yeah, I guess
Mhm.
it
One
was
question
just
mark.
on his chest.
It's very,
yeah.
very scaled down in a lot of ways. The thing is I think that there's a lot of ways they could have done it. Or, again, they made a good movie. It's not a question of whether or not they made a good movie. I think they made an excellent movie. It's just, do we need a Batman movie for every age group, or can we take it and the property and make something that is good for all age groups?
Was the movie rated R? Was it? It was
No,
PG-13.
It was PG-13.
No, PG-13. They pulled back. I think the company pulled back, said you can't do R. You gotta pull it back.
Because there's an F-bomb at the beginning, I remember.
Yeah. There's only one. You can only have one.
And then obviously it's very violent and dark. But
that's the thing. It's about as PG-13 as you could possibly get. It skirts the line entirely by using fake drug addiction and,
the drops.
The drops. And
well, Matt, you and I, we went to Target one day and we're in the Lego aisle and we're laughing because they make Lego sets of the Batman stuff for kids.
Like,
adults probably buy them, but
Jumpsuit Lego Riddler.
Little kids shouldn't be watching the Batman. But
no, they really shouldn't. It is not a kid's movie at all.
Well, again, this is the same thing when we had Heath Ledger as a Joker. Like, he's going around like, I gargle razor blades. It's like, this is for 5-year-olds. And without Batman being accessible to me at that age group, I would not be the person I am. Like, that is a character that fundamentally changed the trajectory of my life. I got obsessed with the character, with the heroic morality of the character, with everything about it. And of course, I was 4, watching that 60s show. Everyone talks about how cheesy it was. It's not when you're 4. Like, will Batman survive? I didn't know if he would. Like, I had no inoculation for that. It was new. I'd never seen anything like it. So I'm like, I don't know. I can't wait to find out.
And another good point is that some of the best Batman properties, especially on screen, have been for all ages. Nobody is arguing that the Batman animated series cannot be watched by kids and adults. And
exactly. It's a
so
perfect
good
example.
They
can do it. They did do it.
And to bring it back to Star Wars, well, most of Star Wars, but Clone Wars and everything, they talk about it can be enjoyed by adults and kids.
Yeah,
because there's people that are like, oh, it's only for kids, but it's meant for everybody.
No way.
Clone Wars. Okay, so actually, I did a magazine. It was more editing work than it was writing, where I was taking like interviews with Filoni and stuff, and contextualizing them into a narrative. These different excerpts from interviews with different people about the Clone Wars. And I thought there was this great bit that Filoni and one of the directors, he was a director of the the Battle of Umbara arc.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a cinematographer on Apocalypse Now, as I recall. And they were talking about how the Clone Wars purposely did the way they did all ages. They do a really young arc, a middle range arc, a more adult arc, and then scale it, like just bounce that around and do arcs that were clearly for younger kids and arcs that were for older, but none of it could all still be accessed by anyone. But some of them definitely intentionally skewed younger or older. And Battle for Umbara, of course, being one of those that skews older. Brilliant war story, beautifully told. And great, morality that is straight out of any of the Vietnam fiction of the 70s.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it was interesting in that they purposely approach the all ages thing, but they approach it. I guess the Batman animated series does kind of the same thing. I mean, look at the Almost Got Him episode when the villains are sitting around the table. I threw a rock at him, versus some of the other episodes that are really like some of the stuff with the Scarecrow and whatnot. Episodes can be really emotionally charged. So that's a thing. Like whenever I write any of this material, I try to always take, even when I was writing Batman Brave and the Bold, I tried to put in some heavy emotional topics in there. When I did Supergirl Cosmic Adventures in the 8th grade, I snuck in the death of a character. I managed to find a way that no one realized the character dies until you really go back and look and go, oh my God, that character. And it was a book for 8-year-olds. So, you can do it. It's just how you do it has to be, that's a balancing act.
Right.
I follow you. I get that.
But yeah. I don't know anything.
You
else?
asked your Batman question.
That was a good.
I'm glad we got to Batman.
That was a good discussion. We were able to tie it back to Star Wars. All that
I
was.
talking about Batman.
No. I'm thinking of the animated series.
I was too. I was like, I kind of want to go like rewatch it.
Yeah, right.
Is it on anything? I don't know.
We'll have
So
to-
very good.
What would it be on? I don't even know.
Oh boy. Well, let's wrap up, guys. So we made a crime lord.
All right,
Yeah.
go run through
Glor-
them once again because it's been about a half an hour since we talked about him last.
Lord the Gaseous. He's a
We moved on.
Galusian. Galusian?
Galushian.
Galusian. From the Barren Rim. He fires fart darts out of his jar that he lives in. He runs the gang called the Porg Posse. He has a Porg named Steve. His major domo is Aurasing, and he rides a space dewback around. He is very chaotic evil. And then there's a lot of fun facts about him that we're not going to get into, but this guy is a psychopath.
He makes brunch. He has a brother named Brandon.
He's
And
related to
AJ's
Watto.
fun fact. And he's related to Watto. Yay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Landry, for coming on to our show again and to create this wonderful crime lord with
Oh, yeah.
us. It really
Big
took a
time.
hard left there immediately.
Big
But
time
yeah,
crime
thank you
lord
so
putting
much.
Together a crew.
And thank you everyone else for being on the show as always. This is the HoloNet Marauders
welcome.
podcast. Oh yeah, you guys are. Yeah, thank you. Love you guys. This has been the HoloNet Marauders podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time.